Alright, so I expected there's no movement with the Mavic repair shipment. We'll probably start again tomorrow. So again, it said it was supposed to arrive by Tuesday. So hopefully that still goes through. Well, tomorrow's supposed to be the Solar Eclipse. I still can't think of the exact place to go. I might just go to like some a science world or something like that, where they might have some events. I'm wondering again if I can actually capture anything here, like in Vancouver, with this action camera. Although I'm super curious to see how any of the drone footages turn out for those who actually have the drone in their hands. It must be really interesting, especially those in the actual area where you're going to get 100% of the eclipse. Whew, okay, learned a lot of interesting stuff today in the class. I think I have spare time today too to talk about some of the stuff that I read the other day, which I thought was kind of cool. One of them was actually related to airplanes and pilots, which is actually freaking people out, which is actually interesting when I think about it with the drones actually. But the first cool one was here. I read an article that says how a Toronto hospital uses virtual reality to grant dying patients a last wish. So to my understanding, they're giving patients like VR goggles because they've always wanted to, I guess, visit like a certain place, like part of the world. So because they can't go there like for health reasons, they give them like a VR headset, which actually shows them like the whole area and stuff like that, which is actually kind of cool. Have you guys ever tried virtual reality 360 types of exploration that way? It looks really cool. In many ways, you're like, holy cow. I know some people play pranks to them. You can probably see it on YouTube, like when they do skydiving or something like that. And the guy's sitting down with a VR headset. They push him down. He thinks it's real and he starts freaking out. But that's great though. I was actually thinking of taking 360 videos before, but I just thought like the setup is way too expensive to do, like for a person like me to edit and all that. Alright, what did you guys guess? 33,150 jelly beans. That's what I'm going to enter. Since that's what your answer was. Let's see if you guys win. I don't know if there's actually that many in there though. Although this story wasn't specifically about drones, it actually got me interested because it's related to like aviation. Because usually with drones, I believe like for commercial flyers, one of the requirements is they want always someone to be with you. I guess the safety measure overseeing you flying the drone as well. So basically kind of like a two-man operation in many ways. So recently, to my understanding, based on this article, there was a temporary rule that required, in terms of an airline or a pilot, there has to be 2 crew members, like in an airplane at the same time. But for whatever reason, Transport Canada decided, hey, you can only have 1 person in there if you feel like it now. So it says here, like in the headline, Canadian Airlines can now have just 1 crew member in cockpit despite US safety requirements. Again, to me, this is really fascinating because when it comes to the drones, for example, everyone's so paranoid about it, especially like Transport Canada, like for the most part, for the sounds of it. Yet you have like an aircraft here carrying like hundreds of passengers, but that one's like, okay, yeah, you can still have 1 person, that's fine. Hearing the public feedback is the real interesting part, because even with the drones, it's always what if, but the excuse is always safety first, safety first. So you even have like, you know, regular people here saying, I feel this is a big mistake. What about passenger safety first? Like all these different scenarios, like what if, I guess, 1 crew member gets sick, then who's gonna fly the plane and all that? And so you had like pilots actually trying to defend it. Like even this guy said, we had it like decades of incident-free operations without any such rule in place. If you think about it, drone flyers actually use this similar type of reasoning, saying, show me the deaths that drones cause, show me the accidents or specific airplane crash with a drone that's existed. And for the most part, there has been done, and most people say like the regulations don't really do anything to help people in a safety way. Like, I'm not a pilot, obviously, but even some of the reasoning for people, like for the pilots, they say, well, for the most part, the flights are automated, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, maybe that's all true. Like, I don't fly an airplane, I'm not a pilot, so I don't exactly know all the technical workings as to how someone flies an airplane and how it is. Maybe everything is on auto drive, so it doesn't make any difference. It's more psychological, but it just doesn't make any sense in terms of the consistency. If you're that terrified of drone, like with the Transport Canada, like making those rules saying this can crash into this and it's all about safety, why would you not like be more overboard with this when something is so humongous like an airplane with all these passengers? Should you be more strict with rules with that? Where's the consistency? Things just don't make sense many times. especially in cases where people are flying drones recreationally for fun. Man, it's like they're more strict with that than an actual huge aircraft, which doesn't make sense to me. Now, obviously not every pilot or commercial pilot feels the same. Like, even for those who don't fly drones, they might think the same thing, saying like, hey, this is crazy. Like, you shouldn't need like this ridiculous type of law to fly things like recreationally and all that. But it makes me really curious for those who are against the drones so much, like even for professional pilots, how they can use those types of reasoning, saying like, look at the track records, it's safe, to justify them being that way, whereas for the drones, it just doesn't make sense to them. How can you justify, like in many ways, saying it's okay to use that logic and reasoning, saying look at the track record and stuff there, whereas for things like the drones, it doesn't make sense, like it's always the what ifs. Alright, I guess I gotta think about where to go tomorrow. I want to see the eclipse. Maybe I'll try to capture some clips. It's too bad I don't have the drone, but again, I hope you guys, like the one for the drones, get to capture something, because it'll be neat to see. Anyways, see you guys later.